Everyone, for the discussion exercise this week, I wanted to make sure folks had just a little bit of a tutorial on how to use the Black River mapping tool that you will be using to select a conservation project to highlight for the discussion this week. So this is one of the online mapping tools that Neil has made for partner discussions oriented around this sort of landscape conservation area. You can see at this scale, there's not a lot of information showing up, but just by sort of clicking on the focal area, as we zoom in, the first thing we see is the conserved lands database popping up. The properties in the focal area that are showing up as a lighter green are conservation easement properties, and the properties showing up as darker green are fee simple conservation ownership. You can click on any of these properties to get a little more information on the particular tract, the acreage, the ownership, and so forth, the entity that holds title to it. But for exploratory purposes, as you continue to zoom in, you'll see that the parcel information starts to show up. And on the left-hand side of the screen, you have access to some tools that you can use to think through a property you might want to highlight as a potential conservation priority. The list of shapefiles available for you to sort of explore are here. You can click on it on the left and it'll show up on the right side of the screen. It is somewhat intuitive how these are named. We can look at things like the amount of flood exposure that we're seeing on these properties. You can look at connectivity, this measure of climate flow and connectivity and how important these properties are for that. You can look at intact habitat cores, so areas that might add to existing core habitat protection areas. And then, of course, we have a whole host of social metrics as well that might inform your decision. You can also use this tool to explore a little further with the property. For instance, you might be interested in understanding how much river frontage the property has. You can use the little measurement tool down here to actually measure things like a number of river miles. So once you've placed that tool, kind of clicked on the metric that you're interested in, you can use that just by clicking along the river to understand how many river miles are present there. And now I gotta clean that up. I think those are the main pieces of this tool I wanted to explain to you. I'm going to include some information on how to access and eyeball other spatial data that might be of interest to you as you sort of look at this landscape. Think about if you happen to have $1 million to spend on land protection, how you might select which property to pursue and which landowner you're going to reach out to about potentially purchasing their property for conservation. All right, that's it for now. I'll stop share and make sure and email me if you have any questions.